Hi guys, in this session we're going to solve the Necta Form 2 math paper from 2018. So let's start the session. So I have typed the question to make it look neat, so don't worry, these are exactly the same questions as the paper of 2018. So for part 1a, we're told a block is cut into units of 10 grams, 20 grams, and then 35 grams. Use prime factorization method to find the smallest possible mass of the block from which the pieces can be cut. So what it is, we have three blocks. One is 10 gram, 20 gram, and 35 gram. And we need to be able to have one piece that is going to cut all this in just one piece without wastage. And it needs to be the smallest possible. So that means we are looking for the lowest common multiple of these three values. So we're told to use prime factorization. So let's start by using number 10. So 10, we branch it out. 10 is 2 times 5. These are both prime numbers, so we circle them. So 10 is equal to 2 times 5. Now we go to 20, so we have 20. We branch it out. Now if a number ends with a 0, you can always use a 10. So I'm going to do 2 and 10 here. Now 2 is a prime number, so I'm going to circle it. And then 10 is 2 times 5. So I'm going to circle these two. So 20 is equal to 2 times 2 times 5. Now let's do the last one. 35. Oh, that is simple. 5 times 7. They are both prime numbers, so I'm going to circle them. So 35 is equal to 5 times 7. Now to see this clearly, I like to use the Venn diagram. So I've got three numbers that I'm going to have three circles. So that's one of my circles for one of my numbers, and another one here, and the last one. So let me say this one belongs to number 10, this one belongs to number 20, and this one belongs to number 35. Right, now what we need to do is look for common numbers. So I can see 5 is in all of them. So I'm just going to cancel 5 and then put that in the middle because it's shared by all three numbers. And then 2 is only shared by 10 and 20 and only one of them. So I'm just going to cancel that and one of these two from here. And I'm going to put where 10 and 20 share. So they share 1, 2. And then 20 has 1, 2 on its own. So I'm going to put that outside there. And then to cancel that. And then 35 has a 7 on its own. So that goes there. Now to find the lowest common multiple, then you need to multiply all the numbers in the diagram. So I'm going to do 7 times 5 times 2 times 2. And the reason for doing this, I'm doing the 2 as the last number, because then once you've done 7 times 5, you just keep doubling. So 7 times 5 is 35. Double of 35 is 70. Double of 70 is 140. So the lowest common multiples is 140. So because we're talking about grams, so the smallest possible mass is going to be equal to 140 grams. Now for part 1b, we're asked to evaluate 0.864 divided by 0.0245, giving your answer correct to two significant figures. So what we need to do, well, we've got the 0.864 divided by 0.0245. Now you can do a long division if you want. You multiply by 1,000 both on the numerator and denominator, and then you can carry on dividing But the best way to do this is using the logs. So take the logs and then we're going to take the anti-log. So remember the log law, we need to, if you are dividing, we're going to subtract. So taking the logs, then we have log of 0.864 minus log of 0.0245. Now if you work this out, then you will get 1.5456. What you need to do then, so now you need to take the antilog of this number, so the antilog of 1.5456, and that is going to be equal to 35.122. But then you're asked to round the number to correct to two significant figures. So you can now say 0.864 divided by 0.0245 is equal to 35. This is to two significant figures. And now for 2a, we are told to find out which of the two fractions, 5/7 or 6/9, is greater. So what do we have? We have 5/7 and then we have 6/9. Now the best thing to do this is to make sure you have the same denominator. So the lowest common multiple between 7 and 9 is 63. That means I need to multiply this number by 9. I need to balance this number on top, the whole fraction. So I need to multiply that number by 9 too. On this side, I need to multiply by 7, and I need to balance it by doing 7. So now I have 5 times 9, which is 45. 7 times 9 is 63. And then I have 6 times 7, which is 42. And then I have 63 here. So now you have the same denominator. You can clearly see which one is a greater number. So you need to conclude the greater fraction is 5/7. And now for B, we're told if 0.125 of all students in a mixed class are girls, what percentage of the students are boys? Well, we know 0.125, let's do that. 0.125 in percentages, we just multiply that by 100. So that's going to be equal to 12.5%. So that means the percentage for boys is going to be equal to 100%, take away 12.5%, which is equal to 87.5%. And now for 3a, we're told to subtract these two measurements. So what we need to do is know what's going on here. So we got meters, decimeters, centimeters, and millimeters. So to go from meters to decimeters, we need to multiply by 10. And to go from decimeters to centimeters, we need to multiply by 10. And from centimeters to millimeters, we need to multiply by 10. So we're multiplying every time we go to the right. Now to subtract, we start from the right. So 2 millimeters take away 9 millimeters. That's not possible. So we're going to borrow 1 from here. Okay, so 1. If we borrow 1 centimeter, that's going to be 10 millimeters. So now you have 12 millimeters. 12 millimeters take away 9. That's going to give you 3. Now we've borrowed 1 there. Now we only have 30 centimeters. So we're going to borrow 1 over here. We're going to take 1 from there. That is going to be 10 centimeters. 1 decimeter is 10 centimeters. So we had 30. Now we have 40. 40 take away 38 is 2. And now we need to do this part here. Now we've got 8 here. So if we borrow 1 from here, 1 meter, that's going to be 10 decimeters. So now we've got 18 decimeters. 18 take away 9 is 9. Now we took 1 from there, so we now just have 9 here. 9 take away 8 is 1. And this is now the answer. Now for part B, we are asked to find the simple interest on 10 million shillings invested for 5 years at the rate of 6% per annum. So because it is simple interest, the interest rate is going to be the same each year. So if we find 1 for the first year, then we just need to multiply by 5 because it is being invested for 5 years. So let's find 1% first. So 1% of 10 million. What do we need to do? We need to divide by 100. Okay, so we need to divide this number by 100, which is going to give you 1, 2 zeros will go. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So you will get 100,000. So 6% of 10 million now is going to be equal to 100,000 times 6, which is going to be equal to 600,000. So this is per 1 year. Now over 5 years, then we need to multiply by 5. So it's going to be equal to 600,000 times 5. So 6 times 5 is 30, and then we got our 5 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to give you 3 million shillings. Okay, so that is the answer for that. Now for number 4a, we're asked to calculate the size of angle X and Y in the following figure. So the first thing you want to note is that this is a question on angles and parallel lines. Because we have 2 parallel lines here, we got arrows, which means these 2 lines are parallel. Now we can find what X is. X is going to be equal to 40 degrees, and Y, because alternate angles are equal. So this angle here is the same as this one. So that's going to be 40 degrees. Now to get Y, what do we need to do? Y is going to be equal to 180 degrees, take away 40 degrees, which is equal to 140 degrees. And what's the reason for that? Well, angles in a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So you must give these reasons in order to get full marks. Now for part 4b, we're told to find the perimeter of a right angle triangle whose base is 4 take away square root of 2 centimeters and height is 4 plus root 2 centimeters. So let's just do a small sketch. We're told it is a right angle. So let's draw, sketch a right angle triangle. So the base is 4 take away square root of 2 and the height is 4 plus root 2. In order to find perimeter, we need to find all the sides. Now what problem do we have? Well, we don't know this side. What side is this one? This is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse, we label that as C normally, and the others as A and B. So because we have a right angle triangle, we can use the Pythagoras theorem to find what C is. Okay, so we know the Pythagoras theorem is C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. So let's try to do this one at a time, because we have the surds here, the square root I'm going to do a square on its own. So a squared is going to be equal to 4 plus root 2 multiplied by 4 plus square root of 2. If you multiply this out, you will get 4 times 4, 16, and then you will get 8 root 2, and then you get a2, which will give you 18 plus 8 root 2. And now for b squared, what we have is 4 minus root 2. So 4 minus square root of 2, we need to square it, means we need to multiply with the same bracket. If you multiply this out, you get 4 times 4 is 16, and then you get minus 8 root 2, and then plus 2. So this will give you 18 minus 8 root 2. And now what we have, we got the a squared, we got the b squared, which are these values here. We're going to add them together. So we got now c squared is equal to a squared is 18 plus 8 root 2. And then we need to add the b square, so that's plus 18 and then minus 8 root 2. So now we can see plus 8 root 2 and minus 8 root 2, that will give you 0. 18 plus 18 is 36, so c squared is equal to 36, and therefore c is going to be equal square root of 36, which is 6. So that is going to be 6 centimeters. So now to find the perimeter, then we're just going to add all the lengths. So perimeter of this triangle is going to be 4 plus root 2, so that one there. And then we're going to add the b, which is 4 minus root 2, and then we're going to add the 6, so that's plus 6. So now we can add all this. We can see plus 2, take away root 2, that's going to be equal to 0. 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 4 is going to be equal to 14 centimeters, and that is that. And now for 5a, we are given these two simultaneous equations, and we're asked to specifically solve by using the elimination method. So first of all, we do need to rearrange this second equation. So let's take them down here. What do we have? We have 2x plus y equals 20, and then we have x equal to 35 minus 3y. So let's call this equation 1 and this is equation 2. We're going to rearrange equation 2. Rearrange equation 2. So we're not changing it. In order to rearrange, we need to add 3y. So that's going to be x plus 3y equals to 35. So let's do those again. So now we have 2x plus y equals to 20, and then we have x plus 3y equals to 35. So it's still equation 1 and 2. We're now going to multiply equation 2 by 2. So multiply this one by 2. What do we have now? So now we have 2x plus y equals 20, and now we have, if we multiply by 2 throughout, we have 2x plus 3 times 2, that's going to be 6y equals to 35 times 2 is 70. So that's equation 1. We can call this one equation 3 now. So my x's are the same. I can do equation 2 take away 1, equation 3 take away 1. So if I do 3 take away 1, what do I get? 2x take away 2x, and the reason for that, they are both positive, so they have the same sign. I can subtract. So that gives me 0, and then 6 take away y, that will give me 5y. So 5y equal to 70 take away 20 is 50, and that will give me y equals to 10. And now from here I can say from equation 1, substitute y equals 10. So what do I have? 2x plus, so I'm using this one here, plus 10 equals to 20. So 2x is equal to 20, take away 10. So 2x is equal to 10 and x is equal to 5. So my solution then, x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 10. And now for part 5b, then I can rewrite this. We've been asked to solve. That means find what p is. So I've got 4. I'm going to rewrite this as 1 plus p, and then I have 1 minus p equals to 3. Because there is no difference between p plus 1 and 1 plus p, I can write it this way. Now suddenly I have the difference of 2 squared. So if I have this, then I can write this as 4 1 squared minus p squared is equal to 3. Expand this out. 1 squared is just 1, so I get 4 minus 4p squared equals to 3. If you rearrange this, add 4p squared and then take away 3, you will get 4 take away 3 equals to 4p squared. So 4 take away 3 is 1 equals to 4p squared. I'll go up here. So p squared then is going to be equal to 1 over 4, and then p is going to be square root of plus or minus of square root of 1 over 4. So therefore p is going to be equal to be plus or minus a half. Now for question 6a, then we're told if the slope of the straight line through the point 74 and negative 2k is 1, find the value of k. So we know slope is m, that's equal to y2 take away y1 over x2 take away x1. So let's say these are your x1 and y1, and these values here are your x2 and y2, and we know m is equal to 1. So let's do that. Y2 is k, so k take away y1, which is 4, divide by negative 2, take away x1, which is 7, that's going to be equal to 1. So k take away 4 over negative 2, negative 7, that gives you negative 9, that's equal to 1. Now we need to get rid of this negative 9. At the moment there is division there, so we need to multiply both sides by negative 9 in order to get rid of this negative 9. Okay, so now what we have is k negative 4 equals to negative 9. To get rid of this negative 4, we add 4 both sides, so plus 4. So now what we have is k negative 4 plus 4 is 0 equals to negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. So k is equal to negative 5. So here we're told 6b then, by using a sketch, find the image of the point A, which has a coordinate 5, 2, under a reflection in the line y equals to 0, followed by another reflection in the line y equals x. So I have drawn this line, which is the line y equals x. We know is going to go through the origin, and the gradient of that line is 1. So what we have is y equals 0. So the line y equals 0 is the x-axis. This line all the way horizontal, this x-axis all the way down, that is the line y equal to 0. Now we are given point A, which is 5, 2. So let's go to 5, 2, 5, and then up to this point here. That's your point A, which is 5, 2. Now we are told to start with that point is been reflected in the line y equals to 0. So this is your mirror line. Y equal to 0 is your first mirror line. So this point is going to be mirrored down here. Okay, so now what you have a point which is 5, and then the coordinate, the point for y is going to be -2. And now this point, this is going to be the image of A. Now, we're now told there is going to be another reflection in the line y equals to x. So this point is now going to be reflected along this line here. So that is your mirror line now. So what happens when we reflect on the line y equals to x? All what happens is that the coordinates they switch. So the x value becomes the y value, and the y value becomes the x value. So this 0.52 is now going to be -2, 5, which is going to be over here. So this point is now -2, 5. So the image of so A dash, the image point, is going to be equal to -2, 5. And that's the answer for 6B. Now we've been told to use the laws of exponents to simplify 2r³ squared. So let me just write that down here. 2r³ and then it's squared divided by 2r everything cube. Okay, so what we need to do first is just expand this. We've got bracket and then we've got powers. So here there is 1 which we don't normally write, remember that. Now we've got power and bracket, so we need to multiply that by that. That's going to be 2 times 1 times 2 is 2, and then we got the r, 3 times 2 is 6, and then divide by, now everything in here will have that power outside the bracket as well. So that's going to be 2 to the power 3 and then r to the power 3, because 1 times 3, 1 times 3. So they will have to the power 3. Now what do we get? Well, these two will cancel and you just have 1 left here. And then when we divide, what do we do with powers? We subtract. So 6 to the 6 take away 3 is 3, so that's going to be r to the power 3 divide by, there's 1 2 left, which is up here, and that is the answer for 7A. Now for 7B, we are told if log 2 is equal to this, log 3 is equal to this, and log 7 is equal to this, find log 42. So we know we can break this down. So log 42, that's going to be equal to log, you can say 6 times 7, and we know 6 is 2 times 3. So that's going to be 2 times 3, which is 6, and times 7. This will give you log 42. Now what do we do when we have multiplication? Where we can break this down and add. So this is the same as log 2 plus log 3 plus log 7, and we are given the value for each one of these. So that's going to be equal to 0.3010 plus log 3 is 0.4771 plus log 7 is 0.8451. If you add all this up, then you will get 1.6232. That's the answer for 7B. So now for 8A, we are given a rectangle ABC, ABCD, and is similar to rectangle WXYZ, which is this one here. If BC is equal to 9, that one there, AB is equal to 4, this side there, and WX is equal to 5 centimeters, calculate the length of the line XY. So we want this one here. Right, so what can we do? Well, there are similar shapes, So that means the ratio of their corresponding side is equal. What does that mean? If I do this side, xy, divide by 9, this side, that's going to be equal to this side, 5 divided by 4. So all I have to do now is multiply by 9 on both sides to get rid of this 9. So xy, line xy is going to be equal to 5 times 9, which is 45, divided by 4, which is equal to 11.25 centimeters. Now for 8b, we are told the figure below shows the line AC is equal to the line BD. So AC is this one, BD is this one here. Prove that angle ACB, which is this one here, is equal to angle ADB. ADB is this angle here. We need to show that they are equal. So what do we need to do? Well, first of all, this question should show a rectangle there, or it should say there are two rectangles. Otherwise, you cannot solve this question. So we're going to assume these corners are 90 degrees. So what we can say is that AC, line AC is equal to BD, line BD. And why is that? Well, we were told that is the case. They say here they are equal. And we can also say that these corners are at 90 degrees. So we can say angle BAC, so BAC is equal to angle ABD, ABD, and they're both at 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Okay, so two things are equal. What else can we look for? Well, they're both sharing. So if you look at the triangle ABC and the triangle ABD, they are sharing this line AB. So both triangles, you can say triangles ABC and triangle ABD are sharing the line AB. So we can now see they have two equal sides and one angle that is equal. So we can now say there is congruency here, which is side, angle, side, side, angle, side. So we can now say, therefore, triangle ABC and triangle ABD are congruent. So we know that when two shapes are congruent, that means they are equal. So therefore, and what's the reason for this? Why are they congruent? Well, we have side, angle, side, and that's the reason. And therefore, then these two angles must be equal. Therefore, angle ACB must be equal to angle ADB. And that is done. So what you need to do is prove for congruency in this case. And now for question 9a, then we're told a ladder on the ground leans against a vertical wall whose height is 5 meters. The ground distance between the ladder and the wall is 12 meters. First, we need to draw a diagram to represent this information here. And then using the diagram in part 1 or part I, find the length of the ladder. So first we need to draw this information. So we're told a ladder on the ground leans against a vertical wall. So we're going to assume you need to draw this with a ruler, okay? So that's your wall there. Okay, then you have your ground. Okay, so that's the ground. So wall. And then you have your ladder. Okay, so ladder is leaning against a wall. So let's say this is our ladder. Now we're told the wall is 5 meters, so 5 meters. And then the ladder is 12 meters from the wall. So from there to there is 12 meters. So that is part I completed. Now for part II, we're told to find the length of the ladder. So if this is a vertical wall, then you have 90 degrees there. And if you can just do it mathematic diagram there, you'll have 12 meters here, you'll have 5 meters there, and then we need to find the length of this ladder. Okay, so what comes in mind here? We have a right angle triangle. We can call this one C, this one A, this one B. What do we have? The Pythagoras theorem, which says C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. So C squared is equal to 5 squared plus 12 squared. So what is 5 squared? 25. What is 12 squared? 144. So C squared is equal to 169 if you add these two up. So therefore C is a square root of 169, which is equal to 13 centimeters. So the length of the ladder is 13 centimeters. Right, for 9b then we're told sine A is equal to 3 over 5, where A is an acute angle. Find without using mathematical table the value of cos A, tan A, and all this. So let's start with just writing this down. So if A is an acute angle, we could draw our right angle triangle there. So if we got sine is opposite over the hypotenuse, so let's say this is our A over here. So sine A is going to be equal to opposite, which is going to be 3, and the hypotenuse is going to be 5. Now from here actually we can find what this missing length is. So let's call this one B. So we can now say again the Pythagoras, 5 squared is equal to 3 squared plus B squared. So 5 squared is 25 equals to 3 squared 9 plus B squared. Now 25 take away 9 is 16. That's equal to B squared. So therefore B is equal to the square root of 16, which is equal to 4. So B is equal to 4. Now we've got all the sides, we can find any of these items over here. So for part 1 then, we're asked to find cos A. So cos A is equal to adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is equal to 4 over 5. For II, we're told to find tan A. So tan A is equal to opposite over the adjacent, which is 3 over 4. And now for II, we are given all this lot here, 1 minus sine A over 1 take away cos A. Okay, so let's do that. 1 take away sine A is given, which is 3 over 5. 1 take away 3 over 5. Over 1 take away cos A, which we now know is 4 over 5. So this divide by that. Well, I'm going to just simplify this, so we will get, this is fraction here. If you have the same denominator, you multiply that one by 5. So you will have 5 take away 3 over 5. 5 take away 3 is 2. So 2 over 5. And then this lot divide by this lot here. Again, you're going to have the same denominator, so times 5 here. So that's going to be 1 times 5 is 5. Take away 4 is 1. 1 over 5. So divide by 1 over 5. Now you've got these two fractions we're now dividing, so we can do equal to 2 over 5 times, we need to flip that one, 5 over 1. This and this cancels, so this value for 1 minus sine A over 1 minus cos A is going to be equal to 2. And now for 10A, we're told in a class of 32 students, 18 play golf, 16 play piano, and 7 play both golf and piano. Use a formula to find the number of students who play neither golf nor piano. So what we're after is number of people who are not playing golf or piano. So golf or piano. Complement. They don't play golf nor piano. Okay, so let's put the information here, what we have, let's put it in writing. So we have the number of the universal set. We know that's going to be 32. And the number of people who are playing golf, that's equal to 18. Number of people who are playing piano is equal to 16. And number of people who are playing both golf and piano, so golf intersection P, that's going to be equal to 7. So what we need to find is this here, the number of students who play neither golf nor piano. Now we know that to get that number of GUP complement is going to be the number of everybody, number of all students, take away the number of people who are playing golf or piano. So we need to find how many people play golf or piano. Now to get that, we need to have this formula. So number of people who play golf or piano, union P, that's going to be equal to the number of people who are playing golf plus the number of people who are playing piano, take away this intersection because we don't want to count these 7 people twice. So take away number of golf intersection P. So that's going to be equal to number of golf is 18 plus number of piano, which is 16, take away 7. And this gives you 27. So therefore, number of people who are playing neither golf or piano complement is going to be equal all people, so that's students, 32, take away 27, which is equal to 5. And now for the last part of this paper, question 10b, sorry I couldn't really type this because it was a bit much, but I hope you can read it. We're told a survey was done among students in a certain school in order to find the most popular subject. In this survey, each student voted once and the results were as follows. So here we have subjects: mathematics, English, biology, history, geography, physics. And then we got the number of pupils. In maths there were 50, English 80, and so on. Show this information in a pie chart. So in order to show the information in a pie chart, what do you need to know? Well, you do need to know angles for each one, and how many degrees are in a full pie chart. So there are 360 degrees. So before you do anything, you need to add all the number of pupils. So total number of pupils is going to be equal to 50 plus 80, it's all these, plus 120 plus 40 plus 80 plus 30, and this will give you 400 students. So we now know 400 pupils need to be represented in a pie chart which has 360 degrees. So how much are we going to allocate to each one student? Well, all you have to do is divide. So one pupil, how many degrees are they going to get? Well, it's going to be 360. They have to share this. Divide by 400, which is going to give you 0.9 degrees. So each one pupil get 0.9 degrees. Now we know we got 50 for mathematics. So what do we need to do? we need to multiply this by 0.9, and this will give you 45 degrees. And the next one, again, similarly, times 0.9, 80 of them, and this will give you 72 degrees. Again, times 0.9, and this will give you 108 degrees. Times 0.9, and this will give you 36 degrees. Again, 80 times 0.9, this will give you 72 degrees, and 30 times 0.9, and this will give you 27 degrees. So you should check that this in total, all these angles will give you 360 degrees. Once you have all this, you can now go ahead and draw your pie chart. Now, if you are not sure how to draw a pie chart, please leave me a comment and I will do a session on drawing pie charts. So once you have drawn the pie chart, it should look like this. So I hope you enjoyed this session. Please remember to like and subscribe before you go. Thank you and bye for now.